Hey everybody, I was running a little bit late. It's Winging It Wednesday. Winging It Wednesday means, it's really just an excuse for me to not be on time. Anyway, I decided to get on today and every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, and just pick a couple different topics. I have someone in the backstage that's going to come surprise everybody later. He has no idea what we're talking about today, but it's fine because I just put this all together in the past hour or hour and a half while watching Taekwondo Jet Li, like from 2005. Anyway, and it was English dubbed, so that was nice. I'm just going to wait a minute and see if anybody's going to hop on with us today. If not, we're just going to have a fun live video. And yeah, we're just going to do that. So I have a couple things on the side over here that I'm going to be bringing out. So we'll have the crazy screen. So just, prepare your eyeballs. Today, the topic is, and this gives them like a whole couple minutes to figure this out, is breaks and self-care. So this has definitely been on my mind a lot lately. And just with, I guess, trying to get back into regular life and stuff after all the crazy stuff that happened. I tend to just like rush right into it and like everything's fine and go back into doing activities and all that stuff. And then every time things get slow, I'm like, this is weird. It's not going to work. I think that's also, with some mental health stuff as well. Just it's hard to go through certain emotions or whatever. And I don't really do those anyways, without trying to like logic out my own emotions, and that never gets anywhere. Oh, there's a Star Wars character here. Oh, we'll have to bring him on now. We have to bring him on now so everybody else can see. Hey, Ken, welcome.
Hello.
Thanks for throwing yourself into my show like literally an hour.
Can you hear me at all or what?
Yeah, you're good.
Am I?
Oh. Yay! It's our friend R2D2. Okay. That is cool.
Remember the Bop It games?
Yeah. It's no surprise that R2D2 is one of my favorite Star Wars characters. We won't get into a complete deep dive into Star Wars today. We'll save that for another episode. But yes, him like pretty much all the characters that were not human. So like any of the robot characters or Chewbacca, like those. I don't know. Humans are all right. Whatever. So yeah. We ADD'd again. This was bound to happen immediately, I guess. So we are talking about self-care and taking breaks. So I actually thought about self-caring and taking a break from this video today, but instead I was like, no, I'll do the video and then I'll try to do nothing for the rest of the day, which is really hard.
I tell you what, I hope the sound in this, I hope my sound is a lot better than the last time, because I was so I can't wait to watch this thing back. And I'm watching and I'm over there going. And everybody at home's got to be going.
Wow. Okay, see, this is why I invited Ken to guest star again, because if I forget what to say, he's just gonna wing it Wednesday and be my wingman, Get it? Because we're winging it Wednesday. Okay, stop the robot moves. Oh
my God, she's such a bloody genius, yo.
sometimes you need to have fun and be comedic for self-care. Okay, that was not on the list of things to say, but it's definitely one of my self-care things. Like, I just want to sit there and watch like a really ridiculous, like old English dubbed, like taekwondo movie or a comedy. Like, it was The Mask yesterday, and whatever. It's not all Netflix and chill, but it's just like, this stuff is awesome and ridiculous at the same time, and I can like just enjoy myself, kind of sit and try to have less tasks to do. But I do know that for for people who struggle with mental health a lot as well, and as autistics, and and even really people just neurodiverse period, because I have ADHD and autism, but some people, even with ADHD, like a lot of anxiety and stuff comes with that alone. So, if we're just going, like Energizer bunnies all over the place, and our brain, it doesn't naturally tell us like we need a break. We don't need to hyper focus anymore. Like, take a drink of water. I'm really thirsty. Take a drink of iced coffee because I can't even make myself drink water. That's
I'm having real coffee, my friend.
Oh, it's real. I just put some ice cubes in it because I wanted to chug it while we were having this discussion. So I can't. I can't be serious with Ken on the show.
Nope.
So yes, people with mental health, depression, anxiety, and a lot of times neurodiverse people, like, see, I'm all over here like rubbing my hands while I'm doing this, but people that are on the spectrum and stuff, like, a lot of times comes with like having anxiety and depression, not because that is like how it is automatically, but it's a lot of things that cause us to be more anxious, like sensory processing issues, and just social anxiety, and like a whole slew of other things that kind of comes with our sensitivities, and stuff. So that can kind of create anxiety and some depression in itself. And for me, I know that self-care and anything to do with that, like, I either didn't even know what that was, or I really didn't have self-care in my life at all. Because I needed timers, as a kid. My parents didn't really know a lot of those things. It wasn't just their fault, just, not being educated by others. If I said I had an issue, they didn't know how to really deal with that. So I did random stuff like fixing my bed, wearing my clothes, getting into the bed and putting a blanket on top, because I wanted to make sure, like, like I was, I guess, like doing the things I needed to do, but I knew it was hard to do that all like, all those simple tasks. So I would try to think and work out and problem solve a way to make it easier. So when I'd get up and go to school, I could just throw the blanket off, put it under the bed, the other part of the bed's fixed, and like, whatever. It sounds like way more complicated verbalizing it. I'm like, wow, what are you like? That was when I was in 3rd grade, by the way, just saying. So if you don't think I'm an Aspie yet, then you're wrong, because who does that?
You ain't still doing that stuff, are you? Or...
I totally do. Sometimes I do. It's a thing. But back then, I struggled with doing, just, daily tasks and hygiene things and stuff as a kid. Like, I just, I don't like water on my face and stuff. Like, my kids are the same way. So I had a lot of sensory issues that I just had no idea about. I just thought I was messed up, joined the rest of the like autism club on that one. But, and people with mental health too, and Aspies, Audis, whatever you call yourself, with mental health as well. Like, it's even harder doing those daily tasks sometimes. It's even harder like trying to have self-care. Like, what's a bubble bath? I don't know what that is, I don't even enjoy that really because I don't like wet. Again, that's a thing.
Yeah.
And
A bath seems too much like work. I'd rather shower, get in, get out.
Yeah, but see, that is the way we think. Like, we're not even like, I'm just like, ooh, I'm suffocated in here. Why does anybody want to sit in a bath if they're like dirt?
Filth?
No,
You have filth going like this around you. We're filthy. I'm going to be efficient and use the same water 52 times this year.
One is, I mean, don't we look clean today? Well, looks can be deceiving.
What's that?
I did have a massage today, so there's some good self-care. I just do not pay for stuff like that. I just don't know how to do any of that. So the past couple of years I've been learning, and it also helped to know that I was autistic, that well, actually for the past 3.5 years I've been learning, but I didn't know about being autistic yet, and like why I kind of had these struggles with these basic like self-care things, drinking water, maybe not like going so much that I'm just like throwing a bar in my mouth every 10 minutes and stuff like that. So
you need to slow down.
I don't need to do nothing.
That's why you like the Flash, because
oh wait.
Yeah. You're like, I gotta do everything now.
Okay, well, yeah, now y'all see why the Aspie world, like his channel, he talks and stuff fast, but if you listen to him enough times, you also know that he doesn't drink coffee. And I would say from someone that's similar to him in the ADHD and autism like combination of just that it is probably not safely intended to do so. But it's my self-care, and so I'm drinking coffee. I got a massage today. No, these are not things that I ever do. The Ken's going to outer space again.
Yes.
Outer space
is down here.
We just don't know how. We don't know how, and sometimes like into our 40s, 50s, whatever, if we haven't learned these things about being autistic and that we need timers and different tools to help us, then we just our mental health and our bodies and everything honestly goes to crap. I don't know if you thought that was going in a good direction.
Yeah. When I was younger and I had a clearer brain, I used to be really militantly, these things have to be done a certain way, because I would just,
oh yeah,
I would have to put I still kind of do it, but I mean, but I used to be on automatic.
Yeah.
And I would get up at a certain time every morning, give myself like a ton, I had like day job or something, give myself way too much time to make sure I got everything done. But now I'm retired and I don't care. I got, our dog makes sure that I get up, at all kinds of hours. So, there's space aliens outside. Let him out, and there's nothing. He's just barking at the trees. I'm like,
oh, that's why my dogs have been barking every night. They're probably trying to come down to get me. Just take me with you, please.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I was definitely the same way. And it's weird. Like, I post stuff, from the Aspie world or other places that's about like autism and girls. And I don't think that it's like, oh, this is just for girls or oh, this is just for boys. If it's, a post that says whatever, figure it out, pick it up, whatever. That's not always what it means. If something applies to you, then you're a boy or a girl that, that applies, whatever too. But
the thing that gets me is, before I was diagnosed, I figure, the psychological community had their act together.
Yeah.
And could actually approach this subject like they had a brain in their head. Instead, it's like the only time anybody's autistic is when they are a small white child or a small white boy. And that's it. There are no black kids that have it. There are no girls that have it. There are no adults that have it. There are no old people that have it. I mean, that's their attitude. And
They,
then,
they must think they're like a god or something because they can't really say that. But you know, for me, I did a lot of those similar things that they say are stereotypically for the boys. And you know, I did a lot of things like that. Like I had my full room, which I've said a couple times, like all in Japanese, Asian, like antique stuff from different flea markets. Like I had like garden shelves in my bedroom. Like I tried to read from some sort of book from Japan to learn it. This was also the same year that I was fixing my bed like that. So I had the time to like organize, structure, everything needed, you know, have its spot, had the shelves and all that kind of stuff. But that's where I would spend my time. And I didn't have any like really discipline or knowledge of like, okay, you know, I remember my mom saying it a little bit, but like, well, you could do all this stuff, you know, you can't do this over here though. You need to get in the shower. Like it was like a chore. Like it still is. It is not enjoyable. Okay. I just have to do it because we have to take showers and we need to do that. Hey Amber.
sometimes I use my filth to keep the clothing up.
Maybe I just want to keep people away.
You know.
So maybe they will keep their 6 feet distance.
Yeah.
If I just don't take a shower.
If we're 6 feet away from each other, how's anybody going to know? It's like, don't look at me. It's that guy way over there stinks like that.
I mean, I'm not self-deprecating. I'm just saying that, that like, you know, these are real issues and, you know, y'all can't completely deny it. I'm just saying it on live YouTube. And so is Kid. Oh, Kid. Dude, why can't I get these arrows out? Anyways, this way. Because it really is a struggle. Like I had to start putting timers of when to drink water. My husband would have to call me at certain times of the day to see if I ate lunch. And so he would have a timer for me to have a timer because like we both need timers. And so like it's just a disaster. But you know, I started doing that like before I found out I was autistic because I had 2 kids and I was like, I don't know how to do any of this. Why am I passing out? I need to drink water. People probably thought I was like suffering from like a different thing because I just was probably losing a lot of weight. And yeah, I would say that that's why there is a high rating of anorexia and different things in autism with females, whatever, because like that happens, you know, at different times later on or whatever, because we're not able to focus and it can develop also into those. Because I would binge eat and then I would like not, but it wasn't like a purposeful thing. It was just more like, I don't got time for nothing and I'm like all over the place. Like, I don't know that I need timers and I'm autistic and like, I just can't get my crap together. And it's not just like my autism that's the issue. That's not what I'm saying. It's more that I didn't have these skills and the information from, you know, a child, because I would never would have gotten diagnosed back then. It just wouldn't have happened. If my brother couldn't have, I definitely wouldn't have. And he's definitely, you know, like the stereotype. So, you know, but like, I just didn't know to do those things. And so I lived like my whole life trying to just manage that way. And so, you know, that's not ever going to be seen outwardly. No one's ever going to really pick up that all of those struggles that are really invisible to most people are never going to be seen. And then, okay, well, I can understand where being depressed and misunderstood later comes on in that because nobody sees the stuff, these basic things of, you know, self-care, you know, struggles and breaks, and it really all intertwines with each other because we're circling and we're in our interests and we're doing this different stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. It seems like some pain in the butt chore. Like I'm in the middle of answering the questions of life, and all of a sudden it's like you need to take out the garbage. You know, it's what it feels like. It's like I'm in the middle of like something I want to do and I think is important.
yeah,
And all of a sudden it's like, gee, I didn't want to say anything, but you really smell like the back end of a garbage truck. It'd be nice if you took a shower sometime. And I'd be like, well, let me tell you. So, yeah, I don't know what it is about that. I mean, I mean, I'm sure a lot of other people that are not.
It's just not like, it's not like,
it's not on our priorities.
Like a robot. I am not programmed to do those things naturally. Set the button timers to 7 every day, and then set the eating timers to 3 times a day at least. And and if I'm doing anything else extra or like other stuff is going on, forget about it. And then hangry comes, and then I'm like Godzilla around the house, and I don't know why. And then I'm like, oh, I have no feeling of my body. Like I don't know when I'm hungry. So it's
well, I mean, I get like that. If I'm in the middle of I haven't done projects in a lot. I used to do video stuff a lot, and special effects and things, and mess around. And I used to I'd get up in the morning and I wouldn't have breakfast until like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yes.
I'm not exaggerating.
Yes. No, I know.
I'd have my coffee because I'd have to, but my goodness. And to me,
and then you're just
I forgot what I was going to say. No, shoot. But yeah, that's the eating thing. I don't know. I mean, I'm my problem. I'm a snacker. I could snack.
Me too. Yeah. Who really needs? I hate that we have to eat. Like, see, this is why I just.
No, we don't have to do 4 meals a day. No, because there's countries on this planet where people. Well, they say something like, "Well, it's better you eat like smaller amounts 6 times a day or something."
Yeah.
Like, well, if that's the way we're doing it,
stomach problems, it's a good idea. Just saying.
Hey, man, just turn your head and spew on your neighbor, man. Dude.
Oh, no.
Dude, come here.
No. Yeah. So anyways, as we've discussed presently, it's hard. It's a struggle. If you even listen to the past 2 sentences that I said, like, obviously I struggle with just getting my words out of my mouth, period. And somehow they end up being okay, whatever. But just trying to keep up with that stuff. I mean, it's like as an adult learning you're an autistic, and this doesn't to undergrade the ones that learned as a kid, but as an adult finding out like you may have not like had, at least the basics of help. Like if some of their parents maybe helped them throughout a little bit, at least with those things, because they knew. But if you didn't, you're just like having to learn this. For me, at like 30 and then up and up, and some people, older, and then having to reprogram all of that and like trying to get this like adjustment to your brain on like the times. And it wasn't like necessarily neglect from parents and things like that. They told me like it wasn't just that necessarily. It's like it's just not. I'm just not programmed. So I have to really have the discipline to work on that, and it just sucks. Okay, but I have to get myself focused on myself. I know that sounds so selfish because I said self so many times, but it's not. So if you were thinking that, you're wrong. But it's just those basic self-care needs. And that doesn't always mean a bubble bath, because for me and Ken, obviously, we're like, no, bubbles are cool. I don't want to bath in them. Okay. But for you, that might be. Or you may get just a short massage like I did today for like 30 minutes, or like doing simple stuff like going for a walk. I'm going to show a couple pictures here that I got from some different sites. I will put the links to them below here in just a little while. But so we've talked about kind of like, the struggles, and then I'm going back to the problem solving on what we do with all this chaos. I'm like, this is the ball of chaos I obviously am holding. Here, Ken.
I don't see anything.
Here, take the ball of chaos.
Are you sure? Yes.
No, just take it. I don't want
Is this ball of chaos in the room with us right now? Or?
I don't want it anymore. And this is me not caring for myself. I don't drink enough water. I don't eat on time. I don't shower on a daily basis. I forget to brush my teeth. Okay, I think I'm done. Here, you take my ball of chaos because I'm done with it. And then I'm going to go like take care of myself. No, you got to take the ball. Come on, bro. Be a wingman.
Oh, I ain't taking that from you after all that stuff you talking about. Here, take this nasty ball. It's got my unshowered mess in it. I don't brush my teeth. I don't do this. Here, take it, Ken. Take it. Man,
come on.
Hold it.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Yep, I got it. Wait.
Okay. So sometimes you need to be able to ask for help. Sometimes that's a actual self-care thing. See, I just handed him my ball of ridiculousness because I'm gonna take care of myself better. Boom, gave it to Ken. I asked him for help. I suck at doing that. That's another thing that we, or at least I, as an autistic person, tend to suck at because I also have rejection sensitive issues. But I'm practicing being like, I can ask for help. Not all people are bad. And, I can do that because sometimes I need to slow down and sometimes I might need a hand or a wingman, Oh, gosh, keep going the wrong way. But yeah. So Ken, and whenever you're going through, times, he's poking me. Look. Oh, now we're having way too much fun with this.
I touched your forehead.
Why did I invite you on again and think this was
I touched your forehead in cyberspace.
So you can see, like, look at me today, okay? Anyways, just because you think everybody has all their stuff together and they don't have struggles and they look like they take care of themselves or take time for themselves, you may be wrong because they may need to do that more often. And man, that 30-minute massage today, I'm just saying, I will peer pressure you into doing peer pressure. Oh my gosh, like pressure points.
You want to see my COVID here?
You into doing that because it was super helpful. Oh, you got to get it froed out like me and Hunter. You gotta.
I got up this morning and it looked like devil horns and stuff all over the place. Wow, that was so stupid, man. I'm wearing a hat. It ain't gonna work.
Yeah. See, we're gonna wear less hats and take more showers.
No, it's not the anarchist way of doing things. I bet Lenin had a nasty looking bottom when he was up there doing his thing.
Oh gosh. Okay. So anyways, on a serious note, Ken, whenever you're struggling and you're feeling like you're lacking energy, you feel like you're just burnt out. You've maybe had more meltdowns. You're exploding more, and just like chaos monster, it's just a tornado, and you're just ready to tear whatever in your way up because that's what tornadoes do. And also, Twister is just a great movie. Loved it as a kid. But yeah, what do you do, or what have you been working on for your self-care? I know you and I probably struggle with this quite a bit. And like, what do you do to try to sort of like ground yourself whenever you're having, meltdowns or just anxiety and stuff? You just kind of feel out of control.
Well, I mean, if you reach the point of meltdown, there's not much you could do except go through it and then try to pull yourself back as best you can, not say things you're going to regret and not do things you're going to regret.
Yeah.
But if you go into shutdown mode, for me, shutdown oftentimes comes before meltdown, because what happens is I don't know if this is my autism is so weird. It's like the whole autism community is probably going, what the hell, what's wrong with him? But I usually go through shutdown before I reach meltdown.
Yeah.
And if I'm at the point where I'm doing something, like say, I want to get these dishes done. Somebody's like, yeah, throwing forks and dishes in there, and I'm like, and I'll just dummy up because I'll go into the zone. And once I go into that zone, then that's when I start getting nonverbal. And is it okay if I do this? Yeah. Can I put this in the water? Yeah. Yeah. Put it in there. Yeah.
It's just like, no, no.
Yeah. Put it in there. And, but usually I'm okay. What I try to do, I know now a lot of people right now are being triggered because it is Autism Month and all the non-autistic people come out of the woodwork and trigger the crap out of the autistic community by trying to help us. Me, on the other hand, I'm not so sensitive by that because I know how people are. I know how that's just here. Let me help you. You got something in your eye. Maybe I can get that out with a screwdriver. I mean, that's the mindset a lot of people have. Me, I get triggered by just politics. I can't. Stuff like that, and people being hateful on TV and stuff going, evil going on in the world, and people get away with it. And when somebody does something relatively harmless, it's like, gee, I don't know if I like you the way you are. And then next thing you know, they're off Facebook, and somebody's like, you're a complete bastard, and somebody wants to drag you into a court of law because your hair ain't the right way. And
Well,
it gets that stuff triggers me because.
right. Well, sometimes it's hard whenever you have a direct trigger. I mean, especially like being that you're maybe an autistic with PTSD. Also, like with people that have trauma and can be even more hypersensitive. I definitely understand that. I don't think that that's the only reason why you have hypersensitivity. If you are an autistic, then, like you maybe had those things already. And it's not just necessarily, like I said, that that it's the autism in us that's bad. It's that it's hard in certain environments or certain instances where it's not doing the tasks that we don't want to do. It's that we are past our like sensory battery, and the battery has gone low. We can't even talk. And so what comes out is either short or rude or, whatever, because we don't have the words. But since people are used to us being verbal, if we are, then they expect that. I mean, that's just, and it's not necessarily bad on their part. It's just that, like, unless they understand like that you're in that place, like, you need a moment, you cannot talk, whatever, which I do have an app that I have downloaded on my phone called Emergency something. Hold on. Emergency chat, and it's actually for Aspie meltdowns. And it gives them a paragraph that shows just a short paragraph of like, you're in a meltdown mode and we can chat through here or whatever. But it is hard to ground yourself. It's hard to, just even take deep breaths in some of those moments. And so, once you learn that like what you're doing isn't working, then obviously you have to like, try to do something that's going to help. Even if that's like turning the other way and like jetting out the door and falling on the ground, because maybe they'll get it that like you just need a moment or whatever. Because it's hard to say, it's hard to verbalize in those times. So when you're in those moments, I know like we've done plenty of things that are not, the best choice in that instance. But what have you done that you have found that's worked for you? That isn't the, explosion in front of the person or just like being short or whatever. Just I would say, what have you figured out that you can do to do self-care, to take care of yourself better, and to just sort of try to alleviate the stress of, what the triggers,
I would have to say, well, for me, my mindset is if I don't want to go over if I don't want to go into the abyss, I stay away from the edge. Basically, avoid the stuff that draws you. I mean, some things you can't. I mean, you get in a car, you got to drive someplace and try to get from point A to point B without jumping out at the stoplight and strangling the hell out of the other guy. Okay, but for me, like the politics thing I mentioned, and it's not just that; it's TV commercials. I think television in general,
Yeah, that can be a lot.
is geared toward convincing us that what we want is to be a bunch of silly, sentimental, cutesy idiots. And I can't. Sometimes, some commercials I laugh at. It's like, okay, but most of the time, I'm sitting there just totally analyzing that stuff. But
Yeah, do you realize that you need it? Because sometimes when we're in that, it's like hard to turn it off.
Yeah.
So you find like it's hard to turn it off, and like,
well, somebody else has it on. You're sitting in a room with them. I mean,
yeah,
But for me, it just sometimes I can sit there and look at the stuff, and I'm okay for a while, and then it gets to be overkill. And then all the time, like earlier today, I sat there, and I mean, my brain was just criticizing every last thing that came up on the TV set. Talking animals and here, buy a car. It's like, are you kidding me with this stuff, man? Hi, I'm a grape. Eat me. I want to eat a sentient life form. It's asking me to eat it. It's like, that's the autism part in me. Anybody else is like, oh yeah, they don't care.
Yeah.
People say, oh gee, I feel like eating whatever that is on the TV.
I can be kind of sensitive to that too. Like, and I would usually have just sat through it, and they didn't understand whenever I blew up eventually or something, because I was like, I want to be able to watch this with them or whatever the situation is, and so like I just have had to really push myself to try to say something about it. And if it's not picked up then, and I did try to verbalize a little bit better, or I tried to use my words or whatever, and if I can't use my words, like I just need to straight up walk out, and I hope that they don't feel like like I was being rude towards. But that is part of self-care. And a lot of times, that may look selfish, but it's not. It's like you're watching this, you're going through these triggers, you're frustrated about whatever, and you have tried to verbalize it, then, you just try your best to just walk out of the room. I mean, it really is hard. Like it's that freeze, and some people get stuck in freeze. And for me, it's being stuck in freeze. I don't know how to fly. I don't even think I'm allowed to walk out. Like, is that like a thing? And then, that comes with, I think, mental health side of things to an extent, but as well as being autistic, not really feeling like you have a voice, not really feeling like you're able to express yourself because you feel weird or because you feel different or whatever, the long list of things. And so why would I feel like I could verbalize, that opinion? If anything, I might over explain now because I feel like people need to understand and they didn't get it. So maybe I need to explain a lot.
That's what I do. It's I try to communicate. Well, I don't understand why you're like this, and I don't understand. Like when I was one of the few people that actually got the last job I had was the dreaded Walmart job, which everybody's like, oh God. But I actually got in there and I was able to do third shift, and I was full time. What Walmart calls full time. And I had a solid work week. And most of the time, and except for like January, it was a dead month. But they have that music going all the time, and some nights somebody go back there and turn that thing up, and I'd be like, oh my God. And I would wear earplugs and stuff. I had to. I'd be out on the floor, and it's like, the customer's going to be able to hear you. Yeah, well, I could hear them over the sound speaker. But I would always get that I don't understand response. Why am I so touchy about these things?
Right.
And it makes me think, I don't know if you ever saw Star Trek, the Star Trek movie, it was the one when they went back to get the whales, the voyage home, I think it was.
Yeah.
And Spock and McCoy are on the Klingon ship. They're talking. And McCoy's like, so what's it like to be dead? And Spock gave some wild, we would have to have a common frame of reference. And McCoy is like, so you're saying in order for us to talk about what it's like to be dead, I have to die first? That's about like what it is like. It's like I can't describe what it's like to be autistic to somebody fully without them first being autistic. I mean, it's all uphill.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get that, but like, you like over time though, not that it gets easier like at all to explain that, but over time I've realized that like it gets easier for me to understand that not everybody maybe will get it, but at the same time, like I'm learning to have acceptance for myself, and I need to be able to do that before I think that anybody, I need to understand and accept me before I worry about everybody else doing that. So again, not a selfish thing, but it's just like knowing your limits, know where you're at, being able to walk away from toxic situations, or just something that you're sensitive to, being able to explain to that person later, and not out of like I said, as a past, like probably very codependent, not just doing it for them, but you're doing it so you're keeping those relationships good. Because if you have to stomp out and they're like, what did I do now, it's not that. You want to be able to, when you're able to talk about it, let them know like, I was triggered there, that wasn't okay, I needed to leave, whatever. But don't, if they still are upset with that, then there's nothing you can do about or control about their actions in the situation. And a lot of that kind of goes back to self-care as well. Just, mental self-care, all of those things that, Ken was talking about, it's all in here. It's all this self-care. And you cannot be expected to take care of this out here if you're not taking care of in here, because it's gonna control everything about your mind, how you see others. Like they're just all gonna hate me because I'm this way, and whatever. We're not always right, turns out. But
almost like it's like the external world is like a nagging child. We're trying to, it's like, you gotta do this, you gotta do it. And you're just like, stop. This doesn't need to be going on 24/7, but that's our lot in life when we're in this physicality.
Yeah.
And
well, people with mental health and with that anxiety that comes with autism, and and then just those social struggles and stuff when socializing and things like that. It's those obstacles and what we keep our minds on, because we feel like we have to do this, and we have to do this, and we have to be the same as how everybody else functions, and all the pressure that causes more anxiety, and the anxiety that causes more pressure because we don't feel good enough and continue on that choo-choo train that sucks. If we cannot see past that, then we're not going to be able to take care of ourselves. We're going to be stuck, and we're not going to be able to take the time to have more mind space, sounding like a hippie now with my sunshine shirt on, but more mind space to clear out our heads so that we can actually put in what we need to do to take care of us. And I know that my mind is filled with so much junk that no wonder I don't naturally think of those things. I've been like that since I was a kid, though, always trying to fix things, put things together, figure stuff out, order it. We moved around a lot too, so that didn't help my
well, you had problems,
autistic, because I didn't have that a lot. But I would figure out things to do, but that didn't mean that I wasn't struggling in the other areas. So whenever people see those kids that are like A student autistics that are like, ruling the world and doing all these things or whatever, they're not seeing that they probably a lot of times have the self-care and grounding issues because they are, they're composing all of this in, not that they're not all masking. That's not what it is. It's just that like they're being seen for being able to do all these things, So they're not seen at all for what they need or what they're really struggling with. So that's why people can still have like the top grades and everything else. It doesn't mean they don't have mental health issues. They don't, they can't be autistic because, they're like valedictorian. That's really downgrading, honestly, to an autistic to say something like that. But
well, Amber E just typed in problem solver skills.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
It seems to me like a lot of autistic people are good problem solvers, and that makes us want to problem solve, whether we're asked to or not. It's like, let me help you with that, And
oh yeah. I mean, I do it all the time unintentionally. My husband tries to do it to me unintentionally. It's not always a good thing on either of our sides.
I try to lay back now and just say, you know what? I mean, unless you're going to pay me some money, no.
Jeez.
No. But, you said you had your
about the problem solving thing. It doesn't mean we're all good at problem solving the same way. It's that our minds are continuously going. They're continuously like being lit up left and right, sensory, continuous over and over and over again, circling around each other. And so it's not that a neurotypical person can't be a problem solver or an engineer or whatever else. It's just that we tend to circle around our ideas and analyze over each of these details and put it all together into one thing. But it's not always in the same career field, and so it's not always going to look the same with that either. But problem solving.
You know what, too, like with you, I'm sorry to interrupt, but
no, you're fine.
Well, with you, it's like you said, you always wanted to do like the NCIS kind of thing and the detective work, and you did do some of that over the past couple of months, out west, and I see that's it's like the UFOs with me. We are drawn to mysteries, to puzzles, to something that needs to be solved, fixed.
Gotta get done. I need a new case,
Yeah. I mean, I'm about ready to, have you start. You're pretty good at it, man. Maybe have you, convert you into being like a UFO nut and see if you can figure it out.
Oh, no. I've tried to keep myself from that for a reason. Okay.
I've been at it since about 74, 75 when I first got spooked by a made-for-TV movie. And but the thing with me is I've gotten to the point where I've kind of figured it out, and it is kind of multifaceted. There are different explanations for it. But, it took me decades because you get and with anything we're trying to do, and even trying to put a puzzle together, you think you're smart about it, like, well, I got all the green pieces over here, and actually one of them is blue teal or something.
Yeah.
You're not paying attention. But, I don't know. We are the problem solvers, and supposedly, from what I understand,
but we're also problem solving so many things, and those are the good things. Those are really a lot of the positives. It's just that like we tend to like not have as much of an off switch, and so those self-care things, like, Ken and I are just like an example of why it's so hard sometimes for autistics, because like I'll start talking about other things and he'll start talking about other things, and we're both like, what is this even about? And then we'll like meet back somehow again, back to the conversation.
No, we will not. No, this is the Ken Baga show.
Because like UFOs and I don't know, detectives, and I don't know
that woman.
But this is how our brains work. I mean, is that not an example? But this is how it works, like these are different examples here. And we still kind of run into the same problems though, as we get into these things and we suck into these interests or like things that we need to do, or like tasks, or, whatever, or like we need to make sure things are taken care of, and, whatever. And that we put so much into that, and so much of the problem solving on the outside, that we forget to problem solve over here. Like stuff is going on, obviously, and we're not taking care of this but we're needing to take care of all this other stuff. It's like people tell me, well, you're a mom and you can't take care of them if, you know, you're not really taking care of yourself well. I'm going to have to agree with that statement. You know, stay-at-home parents, period, for that one, because like you just lose it, man. You just lose it. It's so much going on.
Do you get obsessive with your interests?
Yes, which is why it's a problem to, like, I can sit there and dig into my interests for like 3 hours more straight. But I have taken some self-care time and like actually like done some things that I need to do that are good for your body, your like mind, meditation or yoga or like
yoga,
you know, whatever your thing is. No, it is a chore. I have to push and force myself to go into those moments, and that can be also okay with my emotions. Help for mental health people too. Like, you know, if you're just going and going and going all the time and you're not taking self-care time for your mind and your body, then expect all of those emotions, I got the same thing going on, to be stuck in there. So when stuff starts popping up all over the place, that's where it's coming from. It's coming from in here that you think is just going to like eventually dissipate into nowhere. No, it's stuck in your body, and you have to take time for self-care and for, you know, even if that's like a little walk. Trust me, I know walks. Who wants to do that? I mean, I admire runners because like they must have a lot of will for that, because I just cannot.
No.
But I find ways of fitness things that are even like part of my interests. So use that to your advantage. If you have these special interests, if you're neurodiverse or just, you know, neurotypical, whatever, take your interest and use that to help with your self-care. So like play one of your shows while you're taking a shower that you're really into, but make sure you're actually taking a shower or whatever, or listen to an audiobook while you're taking the shower so it doesn't seem so lame taking it, whatever. Or while you're doing the dishes, watch some. I have to like put a show on, put a book on, do something that I can hear or do, so that I'm, you know, enjoying that a little bit more. The sensory stuff doesn't bother me as much. And you know, you just kind of have to keep on picking up those tools, you know, that are going to help with those times, because they're, especially on your more down days, like, you know, and those who struggle with the anxiety and depression and those, you know, compulsive thoughts and things like that, you know, like you have to have some sort of like plan, use your problem solving brain, you know, even though it's not super fun stuff, and try to plan like different things that you can do in an emergency, or with when you're feeling a certain way, or when you need to have that self-care, and start to get it into your routines. I know those with ADHD and autism kind of struggle with that a little bit more, because we're like really wanting routines, but we can't see stuff that's in front of us because it starts to disappear. So, but try to make it part of your routine either way. And that way, you know, this is my self-care day. I need to do this. I'm not doing anything else. I'm taking care of myself, and let those around you know that you have got to start putting yourself in a timeout and having some self-care. So,
well, there's some people I would imagine that are like me. When I was a kid, I was taught early on to make up my bed, and I'm like that. Even if the missus will get up, because she gets up after I do, I'm up at like, you know, the crack of whenever in the morning. And, you know, the dog is the alarm clock here. So he comes over and he looks at me. He looks at me down his nose like this. Like, well, are you going to let me out? And so I have to get up and let him out. She gets up later, and she'll kind of, you know, throw the covers up there and try to make the bed up nice. Well, I go in there and I'm like, ooh, bring everything down. Everything's nice and neat, because that's for me when I take a nap in the afternoon, which I have to do because one, I'm old, and two, I got a dog that wakes me up 3 or 4 hours after I went to bed. And I like to lay down. I am conditioned because of my own fault to lay down or at least walk in the room and see a neat bed. Now that's a chore. A lot of people, I know a lot of people don't want to do that. There are people I know for a fact. I don't care how clean the car is in the house. If you walk past the bedroom, that looks like what was left from last week's tornado. It's just everywhere. And I'm like, no, I can't. I have to have the bed made up.
Yeah.
We're selectively chorish. I'm
Oh,
like
I know. Yeah, no laundry. I don't need to fold that. Sensory overload immediately.
Yeah.
But the bed needs to be
Laundry.
fixed. That is whack. You know.
Yeah.
But
By the way, I hope you
video-
don't mind if I start chugging off like a giant bottle of pop. I
Oh.
couldn't. I thought I was going to get a bottle of water. I'm like, well, I know we got 2 left down here. The missus hit them, so it's like I had to go get a 2 liter of this radioactive crap we got from Walmart.
Oh no, that was actually my favorite drink as a kid. Was like the regular Mountain Dew. Now I cannot drink anything, so I probably chugged too much of it before. But I'm gonna show my other screen because I have a double screen thing.
What is that?
If any of you watch Dexter's Laboratory, you know what I'm talking about.
Dexter? Oh yeah, the kid that actually had the German accent.
Yeah, not the murder guy. I've seen that one too, obviously, detective show. But
oh, okay, never mind.
But no, I was talking about the cartoon one on Cartoon Network and his nemesis, which it's funny because my brother was definitely Dexter. I would say, yeah, sister's Dee Dee, but Dexter's nemesis was Mandark or whatever, and he was like black haired, sort of chopped hair, and he had like the clean, sleek. Oh my gosh, I just realized that they might have got the Big Bang characters from Dexter's Laboratory. Anyway, so Mandark had the clean, sleek, laboratory or whatever, and I was super monotone. I still kind of am, but super monotone as a kid, and anyways, just very much connected to the nemesis with my brother's relationship and I, and like my laboratory's obviously better.
Are you kind of like Anakin Skywalker, where you're trying to be a good Jedi, but at the same time you go on a bender and you go kill all the sand people and the kids and everything? It's like, I kill them all, the women, the children. I hate.
No, someone keeps telling me that we're going to be Sith Lord. I don't know, different friends, and I'm like, why am I grouped in? Why? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm totally a Jedi. Come on, man. But yeah, I could definitely relate to Kylo Ren in the new Star Wars stuff. Just like the whole, he's a good guy, but something's going on there and whatever and la la la. But Star Wars, Steve, this is what happens, Ken. You just sucked me in and I fell right in the hole. Amber says that she made her bed while listening, and I forget. I'm like, crap, I don't need to say names. They don't know which Amber I'm talking about. I will not say your last name. Get the Star Wars characters off the screen.
Yeah, we're probably looking at a copyright issue in a few minutes.
So
we're lawyers with Lucasfilms.
Yeah,
I could see your little ponytail sticking out there, Gully.
Oh yes, I have my hair like braided today. So yeah, we're gonna look at some of these self-care things here. I don't know why.
There's mine, staying at home. Yeah. Putting yourself first. All right.
Okay, well, anyways, I can't find the dang button. So some of these here are, no, I really wanted to play. See, I'm so anal about it. I'm like, where's the play button? Ah. Oh, wrong one.
Oops. Oh, wrong one.
Technical issues.
Yeah. And I'm looking at them.
I think, can we see it now? Okay. So anyway, here we got taking a step back, asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned that one with some puns. Spending time alone. Putting yourself first. And I know, you know, that sounds like, yeah, whatever, like I said, but it's not like, okay, you learn to put yourself first and then you forget about everybody else. Like there's boundaries, obviously, everything, there's balance. So it's like learning, okay, I can take care of myself. I'm allowed to do that, it turns out. And so I'm going to take the time to set out whatever days and whatever, like I said, and then I can make sure that I'm doing, you know, things on that day. And I'm not talking about just basic stuff. I'm talking about like, you know, just spending a day, just, you know, you have your chore day and then you have your self-care day or whatever. Forgiving yourself is definitely a good one. Saying no. I need to make a whole video on that, so we're not even there. Staying at home, setting boundaries, asking for what you need, and you know, also not staying at home, because a lot of people who are naturally introverts, they actually need to, you know, sometimes get out, and that doesn't mean out with people, it just means get out into nature, so that you can kind of learn you know, just to have some vitamin D and to go for walks and stuff. It's kind of hard to like pace back and forth around your house, and it be helpful for like a longer period of time versus walking outside and getting some fresh air. Some more self-care things here. This is a self-care challenge. I found it on this page, and you know, funny thing is these are all colorful and stuff. You know, they make a lot of these for kids, but it really also helps a lot with adults, and it's easier for me to read. But anyways, oopsie. So just different stuff that you can do. Not everybody likes writing in a journal and stuff. My hands hurt whenever I write, so I don't really do that. But you know,
get that funk between the fingers with the writing utensils.
What on earth are you doing over there? I'm like reading and it comes back on me as a mask on.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm being socially responsible. I'm wearing a mask.
Oh my gosh, I just can't.
So, I got to get about 6 feet away from the computer because I don't want your Rona, man.
So remember we talked about silliness and comedy, you know, obviously in the right times. That doesn't mean, oh, you know, mask and don't be funny. It just means obviously, you know, not making fun of people and being a jerk. Rest. I heard that last week that Jim Carrey said is like, yes, I am depressed. I need deep rest. But like he's very 100% serious about it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is right. When you're depressed, you need deep rest.
It's like when I'm on here being silly like this. This is a bit of a release and a stem for me.
Yeah. Same.
And I suspect it was like that for a lot of these comedians that are autistic and whatnot.
Yeah. Solitude for some, but some people need out. Some people may just need to go out somewhere and breathe somewhere. Hobbies, you know, obviously boundaries, you know, you got to remember your boundaries with some stuff, you know, don't forget the world and then like never come back and stay making tiny jewelry all day or whatever. You know, cooking by yourself. That is an awesome thing to challenge. So anyways, I'll post that list in the links so that y'all can get that and just have some different ideas. Some stuff is things that people don't ever think of. And
do you try journaling?
Well, I talked about that just a second ago, but like, no, I've attempted to. I'm not really good about writing things down, mostly because my grip's always been really tight and I get like carpal tunnel, and that's my excuse. But it's true, like my hands cramp up a lot. I've tried to start like doing things by typing instead. So, you know, don't like you have to write things down or do the whole pretty journal with the whatever. It looks all cool, but I can't do that crap. I don't have enough focus. So I need to do things like meditate, which is basically me. It's not this whole thing, whatever. It's turning everything off, complete silence, no sound, no noise, no light, and just breathing. I'm laying down in bed. It looks like I'm about to take a nap. I'm not falling asleep. I just need to go into a turtle shell dark hole or burrito or whatever you call it, you know. my people know, man. They know.
Some early mornings when I'm out with the dog and I sit on the porch or something, I will shut my eyes and I will do breathing exercise. To me, is it that is meditation. It's the breathing, and it oxygenates the brain properly.
Yeah.
Because we have been accused of being shallow breathers in the West. Well, it's truth.
I'm just not a breather at all. Like I think I'm a vampire still because I forget to breathe so much that I'm surprised I'm like didn't fall over.
Maybe you're Borg.
It's very like just not conscious. Well, it is more conscious now because I've practiced for like 2 years of yoga and breathing and just learning to breathe basically, which is also something you learn that's really important for karate. And a lot of things that are active but meditative at the same time. Like you learn basically breathing is important in all of those. And so it helps me to learn in my special interest. See, and then I learned how to breathe, whatever. So here, this little chart's pretty cool. It's where's the mouse? Types of self-care also. And there's physical, emotional, social, and spiritual. So here it gives you sleep, stretching, walking, physical release, healthy food, yoga. Yeah, definitely healthy food for me because like I was like down in like a giant gluten-free brownie from the coffee shop the other day, and I don't feel good about that. But emotional.
You couldn't share it with your old pal, could you?
No, I ate one half one day and one half the other. It's been a rough couple days. Emotional stress management, emotional maturity, forgiveness, compassion, and kindness. And that compassion and forgiveness and kindness. Now, let me tell you, as an autistic person or someone who has struggled with codependency or someone who struggles with mental health, it's not just talking about compassion towards, other people. Although, yes, that is important. But for me personally, that's all I ever had. And I forgot to have it for myself. So it's learning that you can still have that while you're learning, but you need that for you. You need to forgive yourself. You need to have, compassion for you when you just suck and mess up. And social boundaries, support systems, even if it's small, even if it's a couple people, communication, time together, and asking for help. Boom, said it again. And spiritual, time alone, meditation, yoga, connection, nature, sacred space, journaling, whatever. So, those 4 things, and it's super important. Everybody just thinks, oh, I just need to go on a vacation or I need to go on a trip. And, once a year, there's my self-care or whatever. And they just don't understand what self-care even is. Actually, I looked it up in the dictionary. Just because I like to do that. But it says self-care is the individual practice of health management without the aid of medical professional. In healthcare, self-care is any human regulatory function. Let me say that again. Self-care is any human regulatory function which is under individual control, deliberate, and self-initiated. Self-destruct. Okay, I don't know. For the purpose of the maintenance, health, and well-being. I'm sorry, did that say anything about doing everything for others and dying because you're not taking care of yourself?
Yeah.
No.
What are you doing dying on me, you selfish bastard? Yeah, I could see. And that's what you're thinking, too. It's like,
you feel like we're failing.
Well, it's funny because we guilt ourselves and then people get used to us being like that. It's like, well, I could go to so-and-so because I know they're going to cave and they're going to do what I ask or give me money or because it'll make them feel good to know they didn't turn me away and say no.
And that's just more, those are just more reasons why that shows that it's not like, oh, we've just figured out these horrible things on our own and of not taking care of ourselves. It's just, sort of some of the things about the world and our societies and stuff like that too. And now it's, it is a lot these days about me, and where I need to get in the world. I need power. I need whatever. The world is, kind of, I would say, a little bit big in narcissism. I don't completely disagree with people on that, but self-care isn't, that's not what that means though. It's just, like it says, taking care of your health, your well-being, your mental health. And some of those things, other people will not like for you to do, because they are used to it, but they will get used to it, or they will not be in the small or big, whatever yours is, support system, because they're not supporting, those things that you need. But, still learning to give them, grace and understanding, because sometimes we live that way forever. And you're right, people get used to it. And so they don't know how to take it. So they might not want to ignore you. It might be that, it's a lot for them that, not as many things get done a certain way, or like that, this other person might have to pick up something else if you're not doing it, because you're realizing you need to cut things out in order to, have that time. So, it's a process. It's like the unmasking and anything else. I really liked this grounding techniques thing. I'm definitely printing all these out for my kids because they're legit. So she got the taste of gum, the sound of a cat purring, the texture of dog fur. I would say not my dog right now because he needs a bath, and like it's a little ratty, and there's a lot of butt hair going on. The smell of fresh laundry. Now, I think Ken would agree that the smell and the warmth of fresh laundry is really the only good thing about doing laundry. The rest is sensory averting, but like the smell and the warmth is like, yes, this was nice. Okay, I'm done. I'm done now.
I find if I do enough laundry, I don't have to shower for weeks on end. Maybe I'm kidding.
But are you? No. The sound of a cat purring, yeah, that is definitely a great grounding technique. Whenever my cat lays on my chest and she purrs, like you see those other videos or autistics or whatever that like have their service dogs, or people with anxiety or PTSD. I have a service cat, so she will just lay on my chest. She purrs. It kind of helps me. I can pet her, regulate. If I didn't already flip a switch and forgot all those steps. But we're talking about what we're doing and not what we didn't do, the other 50 times, whatever. So just finding what works for you, not feeling like you need to regulate or ground yourself like everybody else does. And this is the last one I have here, another grounding thing. And grounding it helps you even if you're struggling with the self-care and everything else, and you have a lot of anxiety and you're, high stress or whatever, these are things that you can do to help regulate. And hopefully after practicing a lot of these things over and over and just like kind of changing those thoughts and giving yourself grace and whatever, you can get to a point to where, you're putting those timers on, you're focused on that, you're not trying to go to all your, stuff that, you're always like into, but you're able to really focus on taking care of yourself. And it's just a process. So this is one that I heard from a friend that had mentioned before too. And also a good thing to print out for kids who struggle with meltdowns, emotional dysregulation, anxiety, as well as adults. So you stop, relax your body, and take deep breaths and focus on 5 things, your 5 senses, things that you can see. So 5 things that you can see, 4 things that you can feel, 3 things that you can hear, and 2 things that you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. And when you're doing that, you're bringing yourself back to like, down to earth, you're grounded, because when you're when you're filled with anxiety all day, you're just sort of floating around, in this bubble of anxiety. And so you don't know how to get out of it. You have to like learn to take these steps and learn to gain that self-care and work on you a little bit more, because if all of the things that we are talking about that are obstacles, that are negative, that are not helping us, that these people are getting mad, or we're not feeling good enough, or whatever it is, it's not going to get better if we're not trying to do anything on ourselves. We can't do everything for everybody else. We can't expect them to understand either on some of it, but hopefully they can try. But we can do these steps. I won't say simple, because even though they look like it and they've got little cartoon characters and stuff, they are hard. And we can get on a better schedule of taking care of our minds and our bodies, and trying to do best on our side of things, like keeping our grass greener or whatever, the flowers, mirror image, the flowers can bloom. But anyway, hopefully some of those tips help today. Did you have any other like grounding techniques or anything else that you wanted to mention about what you're trying to accomplish?
Well, mostly, well, you're seeing it now. I like the rock a lot. Sometimes I get the rocking chair. If I get a hold of a rocking chair, I just love that. I drive people crazy with exaltation. Sometimes. Well, and the funny thing is, when I was in high school, there was a kid that used to drive the teachers kind of nutty. I mean, he wasn't always around, but he was in our class one day, homeroom, and he was sitting in a chair just going like this. And the teacher's like, he's always rocking in the chair. And I didn't know. None of us knew anything really about autism.
It was just fun.
Yeah, but now I look back, whenever I think of that guy, I think he has to be autistic, because he had all the and he was in love with this gal that did the news up in Chicago. And he was very fixated on certain minimal things, and now I look back, I'm like, oh yeah, he had to be autistic. If he was,
I mean, it blows your mind how much wasn't you just, it's crazy, because like, I mean, you got a few years on me, so but even for me, looking back to childhood, it's like very much the same. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, like you're just having all these epiphanies all over the place with that, and acknowledge. Yeah. But you're able to acknowledge, why you haven't known how to do a lot of the things, or have those struggles. So you don't feel as bad on yourself about it, because, that's kind of what we do.
Well, my wife pointed out to me, she watched some of the video we did last time, and you made a reference about the difference in ages between us, and she's like, she's being very nice and saying that you're old, and I'm like, yes. So,
well, no, it's just, it's part of, I think, like having us on a video together, like we're equally ridiculous. We're not even like close to the same age, but but we're both autistic, and so it's like, and we both got all these different things going on. But it just gives a different picture. It shows our similarities, even though we have these differences. And so it kind of gives people something else to look at, something new to look at. That's what I like to do. I like to do new stuff.
And I was I hate to interrupt, but
no, you're fine.
Well, actually, I do like to interrupt them.
Yeah, I do too.
Anyway, you're saying, people could use what we're doing, but I'm thinking most neurotypical people right now are crying out to God and are running in fear for their lives and are, like, oh my God, this is actually worse than that time I saw that Buddhist monk burning himself and protested the Vietnam War. This is terrible. And, I'm sorry, I'm talking outside of your generation's context. Vietnam. I need a nap is what my problem is. I tell you, I had a dog eating up my leg space all night. And then when I go try to pull the covers up that actually warm up, I'm like, it's like I'm in the gym. It's like,
Oh gosh. Yeah, I would say restless sleep for sure.
I can get sleep well enough.
It makes it a different change, for people to see every so often, because like I don't just do my videos for, just for autism, I do for mental health and other stuff that I feel like a lot of times comes with that, so that people can maybe see or learn like different areas where you have to work on, or where I've had to work on or whatever. Because if you just work on one area, that area is the only area that's getting help. And so, also just being able to put out different things that I've been lucky to learn or put myself in that have been successful, because there's a lot of things that have not. But it helps to add the differences, so that if someone relates more to you, or if someone relates more to me, and like different stuff, from both of us, then somebody kind of can feel like they belong and they're in the right place. And if information we have is helping them, whether it's, autistic information that's helping with their mental health, then like, that's great. That's sort of the point of my channel, is to kind of hit multiple points in that, but also help people to see that, this is a place where they can, try to, discuss whatever that they struggle with in those areas, and they're open, to that.
I suggest we try something before this show is over.
Yeah. What?
We will both simultaneously shake our screens a little bit and pretend it's an earthquake.
Okay.
See, it's fun being autistic, isn't it?
Look, I have a serious moment, and then Ken's like, "Let's shake our screens." Anyways, you need to be able to see different sides of things. That's the whole point. There is diversity inside of diversity, and then there's some diversity inside of that diversity. Okay, so red, yellow, green, black, or white. We're all
precious in the sight.
Yeah, that, and also it turns out we're all human. So
some of us are.
I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I've had my blood checked a couple times, but and I worry about Ken. He may actually be an alien. I'm gonna have to put him on a Star Trek ship pretty soon. But anyhow,
put me on the Klingon ship like they did with the Tribbles. Where's Ken at? I put him on the Klingon ship.
Even the aliens can't have him on the ship. That actually sounds like autistic problems, though. Like, you even sometimes in the autism community, I find like that it's still hard to relate in different ways. And then there's some that I relate to completely, and it just takes some trial and error to sort of like find your place with that, and not, because there's still things going on there. So, just gotta keep your head up and push towards somewhere that you feel like you can kind of let go and let out, whatever. Thanks for joining me and my surprise guest here, Ken. Always good to have him on, and hopefully you can get some tips from all this self-care stuff. I will make sure to post those links to the pictures or where the sites are, because there is content to read on there as well that could help you or your children, whether they're on the spectrum or not. It does help kids regulate, and it's something good to teach them earlier than later. I'm finding out that is pretty tough for myself, but thanks for coming today, and we will be meeting every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Sarah Upside Down show.
Maybe I'll be back too.
Yes, I have to have Ken every so often whenever I'm like winging it Wednesday, which is every Wednesday, but like whenever I'm winging it so much that I feel like I'm just gonna like trash it all. And then like if I'm gonna like have fun and put out fun content, I need to trash it with somebody. I need a wingman. So I'm gonna be inviting other wingmen on. If you have something or a topic you would like to discuss, you can message me on the Eccentric Autistic on Facebook. And we can set that up. But I'm gonna go now, so I can take a break and do some self-care.
Bye.
Don't forget, if you have a shower today, shower and set a timer. Later.
Bye-bye.